first-time visitors do I have? Okay, kind of lets me know which way I'm going to go with this. My name is Mike Washington. How much time do you guys have? Okay. My name is Mike Washington. I'm one of the park guys here at the Oklahoma City National Memorial. We're welcome here this morning. Can you all hear me? You guys hear me over there? You guys should be able to hear me. Okay. A couple things before we get started. It might rain. I don't know, but it looks like it might be coming in. That'd be kind of nice. Because you know what? It's warm, isn't it? It's going to get a lot warmer today. First thing you do, when you get hot, you do, drink your water. Stay hydrated. The other thing is, for those who are allowed to walk out into the field, please watch where you walk. Because like the stairs over here, they're uneven. So please watch those areas. Now the thing before I get into my talk, which is probably between the gates of time, I'm going to describe what this area looked like. Because obviously it did not look like this that morning. So there's a church across the street over here. Used to be a parking lot. Just added on to the older part of the church later. Parking lot across the street. Used to be a YMCA building, about 7 stories tall. Building over here where it says Blues Barbecue. It's not bad, by the way. Easiest way to put it, that building's just been rebuilt. Tall building. It's called the Journal Record Building, a business newspaper, several other offices inside. On that west end of the building, there was a loading dock, 3 stories tall, but it did take the building down to the street. This area where we're in was the parking lot that morning, about 60 cars in the parking lot. Which way's west? Geography lesson. Which way? That's right. It's west. That's right. It's that way. So that pathway that goes from the front museum to the pool, the western edge toward the east, building called the Athenaeum, office building and restaurant. Remember hearing that explosion in that one room? What building was that? Shout it out. I can't hear it.
The Athenaeum building.
Pardon?
The Athenaeum building.
The one right next to it. The Water Resource Board. Across the street is the post office. That post office is now standing where another building stood. Post office parking lot is where the post office originally stood. Little memorial across the street. Used to be the rector, the parish house for the Catholic Church. The building itself, stood where the grass and the chairs are, so where the pole is, that was 5th Street. Remember seeing that axle from the truck inside? Pretty big? Heavy, isn't it? This end, if you count the 4th Pine Tree, that's where he had parked the truck at. When that truck exploded, this is what we use, 20 blocks. 20 blocks, you're looking at over 340 buildings damaged, sites major, 16 were brought down. That axle that you saw inside was found in front of that apartment building, laying on the hood of a car that rode off to the side. It was used as a piece of evidence. It was used as trouble, but it was also a way to find it. Well, let's look at the grounds today. Beautiful memorial. Came out with a design contest. 624 designs, 23 nations in every state. They picked 5. Get to that one for that 5. They gathered up a panel. The panel was made up of 8 family members and survivors, 3 civic leaders, and 4 other architects. When they picked this one, it's from the Boots and Design Partnership. That partnership was made up of Hans and Tori Boots and Sven Berg. Hans and Tori graduated from the University of Texas in Austin, moved over to Germany, where later on they set up an architectural firm. That's where they met Sven Berg. After they won the contest, Hans and Tori moved back to the United States. He finished up his graduate work at Harvard, and now he's teaching at one of the local universities here, local universities. So it's really nice to have it, because even though, you know, you take a look at the symbolism here, there's a lot more beyond that. And that's what we're going to do this morning. We're going to talk about the symbolism. We've got 2 big old things here on the end of the pool. Does anyone know what these are called? Okay, it's too loud. These are called the gates of time. Look at this end. during that time and that moment when the bomb exploded at 9:02. So at the city scale, they provide a powerful identity to this memorial. Much more on the human scale, they inscribe words from outside the openings. They simply and clearly state the goals of this memorial. And those words are, we come here to remember those who were killed, those who survived, and those who changed forever. May all who live here know the impact of violence. May this memorial comfort, strength, peace, hope, and serenity. We believe it does that and much more. As you walk through the gates, one of the first things that you might notice is this big old body of water. That's where Fifth Street stood. Today it's called the Reflective Pool. As you walk around the pool, you're going to hear a sound, almost like a waterfall. So now it's giving you this peaceful backdrop as you walk around reflecting on your own thoughts. Gazing in the pool, it's like looking into a mirror. But when you look into this mirror, that reflection that you see, it's not only of yourself, but what we say is someone changed by that day. Across the way, that's where the building stood. Today it's called the Field of Empty Chairs. Today that field is protected by these pine trees. And it protects these 168 chairs in remembrance of those who were killed. Looking at the chairs, you can notice that they're made out of bronze with a granite seat that sits on top of a glass base. In the glass are etched the names of those who were killed in remembrance of them. If you look at the chairs, you can see that there are 9 rows, because they represent the 9 floors of the building. So now the names were placed alphabetically within that agency that they worked in were visiting that day. There is an exception. 5 chairs at the very end. Those are for the 5 that was not in the building at the time, but they did die as a result of it. 2 were killed in the Water Resource Board. 1 was killed in the Athenian. There's 1 outside. There was a rescue worker who died 4 days after she sustained injuries during the rescue work. Looking at the chairs, you might notice something. There's 2 different sizes. The tall ones be for the adults, the small ones for the children. During the daytime, when you look at the chairs, you're sitting on a translucent base. Especially when the sun comes out, you're given this appearance of the chairs floating. So it's like a memory of a loved one floating through your mind any time of the day. But at night, the chairs will light up. And when they light up, we say that takes away some of this darkness. It's going to accentuate these names of those that we miss. But now they also become this beacon of hope, saying that good will prevail. The reason they chose chairs is because it's a reminder of an absence of loved ones, like at the dinner table, especially near the holidays. Just because you're aware of that absence, of that presence, of that person. Just to the right, to the south of the 901 gate, that is the largest remaining section of the building. So it's called the Survivor's Chapel, Survivor's Wall. Now on those walls are hung these panels of granite that survived the bombing. Now on those panels, the names of over 600 people that survived just in this general surrounding area. And it's partly defined by that mission statement. That one little section that says, we come here to remember those who survived. That's their special area over there. If you notice on this side of the pole, there's a lot of small trees. Well, I mean, Catholic school, right? Supposed to be doing good things. So do you guys do good things? You guys do good things? I'm going to wait for a response. So the longer you sit here with no response, you guys do good things? Yes. Thank you. You always get recognized for them? No. People see the good that you do. They remember the good that you do. It comes back to us later on in good ways, but we don't always get recognized for those things. Again, looking on this side of the pool, you can see all these small trees. It's called the rescue orchard. And it's used to recognize everyone that helped out during that time. These trees are kind of a flower-bearing, nut-bearing tree because symbolically it represents the continuation of a life cycle. So maybe for some of the survivors through the rescue's effort, so you can almost say it's like the fruits of their labor. 3 different types of trees. The small ones coming up the slope. They're called redbud trees. Whose state tree is the redbud? Whose state tree? One more time. One more time. Thank you. These trees, they represent those Oklahomans who were the first to respond, the first on the scene. The other ones, Chinese mustache and Muir maple, representing everybody else around the south. Looking at these trees, you're only going to see a small number. Use your imagination, look behind the trees, and look for this army of over 12,000 people that helped us out during that time. But now imagine this army of rescue workers coming in from everywhere, surrounding, protecting this tree right here, which is called the survivor tree. The survivor tree is an American elm tree. It's over 90 years old. So it survived the Dutch elm disease that came through here, which nearly wiped this type of tree out. It survived the growth of this area because we know it just didn't pop up through the parking lot that morning. On April 19, 1995, it stood here with this building got bombed. And when that truck blew up, imagine all that glass and metal just tearing and ripping into this tree. It's Oklahoma, it gets hot even in April. And that morning, people came and parked underneath the tree. And when that truck blew up, imagine some of these cars catching on fire, burning the tree, scorching the tree. Survived that. Several other stories that we know of. And today when we look at this tree, we see a symbol of not only resiliency, but a symbol of strength and hope for a better future. Because like this tree and its roots, which went out deeper and strong, so are we. We moved on, we pushed on. When we do it again, we always do it again as a nation, just like we did that. How old are you guys? How old?
14.
How old? Yeah? Getting old. You believe kids about his age, your age, actually helped out here? Us adults, sometimes we get these big heads. We think, well, what did kids do here that was so important that they had to be recognized? Because kids didn't go inside the building and rescue people. Kids didn't remove the debris from this area. Kids didn't go out the fire. How did kids play this important part? Why did they have to be recognized? How many of you have ever received a get well card? Or a birthday card? Christmas card? Something special on a special day? Something special just on any day? And nowadays, maybe even a text, email, and kind of name. When you get these things, how does that make you feel? Happy. Special. Right. Imagine after the bombing, kids from all over sending cards, letters, drawings, stuffed animals, tiles. Words of encouragement and acts of kindness that not only helped the rescue workers push on with the work that they had to do, but also let the city and journal think of you. And they recognized that effort. And they took this small sample of tiles that was sent and created this little wall. And on that wall, as you look at it, the side facing the memorial entrance, you can see a lot of hammers. Just like the rescue workers out there with their rescue hands, here's these kids who send their own little helping hand of healing to the city and nation. In front of that wall on the ground, you might see some chalkboards. Not chalkboards, but they are letters. They just have to be a lot bigger and usually open. Because we always encourage kids of all ages to take a piece of chalk and leave a little note on those letters. Because it helps on that healing process even today. You guys drive along the fence line here, coming up. What do you guys see on that fence line? Just shout out and stuff. A lot of different things, right? What do you guys think of it? Art? What else? Colorful, what else? Sad? Joy? Supportive. Probably a lot of these things, right? It's called the memorial fence. It's on the healing side of the memorial. That's what we usually use on the western flank, the healing side. And it's called the memorial fence. And at one time, it was standing across the way protecting the ground after they brought the building down and brought the land. They wanted to protect it. They didn't know what they were going to do with it. We've seen a lot of tragedies in the past several years. After these tragedies, we see people who create what we say are makeshift memorials for those victims. And at these makeshift memorials, you might see a picture. You might see a stuffed animal, a candle, maybe some flowers. If you never walked upon one, pretty powerful images, even though it's over the TV and the internet, right? Imagine coming down here, walking along this fence and seeing the same types of items. A picture of loved ones, crosses, prayers, poems. Powerful, very emotional. And there's this one point in time when some of the family members and survivors said, you know what? We want to keep the fence. And that's what they did. They actually modified the design to include these sections of fence because it allows people today to leave what we say of those signs of care and compassion. And I've been working there long enough to see that's not only good for what happened here, but really for different events around the world. Brussels, Paris, London, Madrid, Norway, United States, Zanzibar, Boston, Tucson, Orlando. So when you look at the grounds today, look at them a little bit different. Because it not only speaks of the deep sense of loss I was talking about this, but really about the rest of the nation. It doesn't because of spirituality that was so evident after the length of this attack. By the same token, this memorial should bring out those feelings of respect and compassion that we should have for each other. Something that you can do without leaving an arm on a fence. You go to the end of the pool, you put your hand in the water, walk up to the gate, put your hand on a gate counter. It's like leaving an item on the fence. The question is, do you do it because you can, or do you do it because you're sincere? So on behalf of National Park Service and myself, I want to thank you guys for being here today. Again, I apologize for all the noise that goes on. This is Monday morning. But if you have any questions, I'm going to stay over here just for a little bit for those that want to ask me some questions. Otherwise, thank you very much.